for
Okay, we're on YouTube.
VSTs. I think the reasoning for VSTs costing in the thousands of dollars is because it's still significantly cheaper than what you would pay for the gear that did the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But the gear can be easily resold and doesn't have 2 license activations.
right.
Yep.
Yeah,
Agreed.
and for me, it's the biggest thing is like I was game for that until, because at this point, like I've been working with iOS and like Eventide, FabFilter, huge sugar bytes, like huge VST makers are porting their shit to iOS and charging a fifth of the price for literally feature complete, just iOS locked. And for the record, because it's iOS, there's no number of license activations. It's bound to your Apple account forever.
Yeah.
So like
nice.
the math for them, that still balances their spreadsheet, right? Like they're still able to do that. So it feels like they've been charging what they have on PC and Macs for as long as they have, just because they can.
Right, because they can get away with it. I mean, it's true.
I will admit, like, I get that ensuring compatibility with God knows how many DAWs and how many updates. That's probably a lot of backend that we don't see.
Oh, absolutely.
So maintenance costs there, and iOS is admittedly a much more stable platform.
Yeah. It's a consistent.
Although to be fair, getting AUV3s to play nice with every iOS DAW is also kind of a nightmare. But
right, and one thing that sucks with Apple in general is that certain update cycles will completely break certain DAWs, or at least certain VSTs and stuff, like completely break them. That's a big thing in the online.
We are live on Facebook.
All right.
Hello.
So the online.
Enjoy us whining about the price of virtual studio technology.
Yeah.
Me whining, Ethan being pretty circumspect about it, but me whining.
Well,
and we're live on YouTube as well. YouTube definitely heard the bashing on the Zoom and Apple and all that stuff too.
I won't say how I've acquired my my VSTs, but that should reflect
Are you saying
how I feel about the company.
Do you have anything that rhymes with Found Boys Track?
Wait, what?
I am in no way asking you. I'm just curious if you know, so that I can know to avoid it, where a Sound Toys crack would exist.
Oh, no, I don't have that. I mean, I can look, but...
So I can avoid it.
Yeah,
In all due seriousness, like, I am... The propaganda worked on me. I evidently would not pirate a car.
I would pirate a car. Are you kidding me? If everyone could have free cars...
Speaking of pirates, we're drinking rum today, boys.
Hey, perfect segue.
So
that was totally organic.
It was. Nobody had said that was not planned in any way, shape, or form. We are live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. The links are up. I just shared this on my page as well. I really shouldn't watch the Facebook feed because, it's behind. No. So when I'm going back and forth, it's not really well timed together.
No. I mean, yeah, you can look at the comments or anything for the Facebook.
Yep.
The Facebook. I'll do that. I'll have that pulled up, but I'll make sure to mute it.
So what we are drinking today, at least on the rum portion, if we do get some others that join us, I've sent both Sam and Ethan some additional alcohol to drink, which we can chat about in a bit. But our primary focus today is trying 3 different rums from 3 different locations. We have the Mount Gay XO Barbados rum, which is right here. We have the Appleton Estate. This is a Jamaican 12-year. And then we have the Bacardi Yho, which is a 4-year. The funny thing about Añejo is it literally means old, and it is the youngest of the 3 rums we're going to drink.
That's funny.
The XO is aged anywhere from 8 to 15 years is what the blend is on that. And then the Appleton estate being a 12-year means the 12 is the minimum. So I thought it would be nice this time. We're not doing anything surprising, but it would be fun to try the different rums and see what the difference is. They're all aged. Price points on the 3 different rums are about the same. So it should be a fun way to actually try them.
All right.
All right. Right now we're at 1 viewer on Facebook, and that's me.
I am viewing it.
It probably just hasn't updated on my screen yet sometimes.
Yeah, I'm definitely viewing it because I have the comments pulled up at least. That's what I... Because, I don't... I obviously care about, viewership, but, the number, I don't care about, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to just, watch...
I will take advantage of my dual monitor setup.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I've got my iPad up. It definitely helps. It'd be cool to see those numbers go up. Last time we went as high, I think, as 6 or 8 while we were live. Ultimately, we ended up with well over 160 viewers after the fact. So,
it has its own gaming tab now. Sorry.
the more we can get, the better. Hopefully, we'll get some people joining us.
I got a leaker too, actually. It's the Puerto Rico.
So, and then we can talk about the different rums, different flavors, the difference in how they're prepared, and hopefully we'll get some folks to join us, maybe chat with us. But it is a Sunday night. I know people are starting to go out now, and
which that is your decision.
Well, what would your doctor say? That's all I'm saying. What would your doctor say? If your doctor says to go out to the bars, go ahead and do
that. Although if that's what your doctor's saying, then perhaps I'm interested in suing them for malpractice. Yeah, I'm not going to say one way or the other. I said perhaps. I didn't say yes. I didn't say no. But if your doctor is saying that, he may also be saying that, let's inject yourself with bleach. Who knows? But either way, that's not a doctor that I want as my doctor.
That's all I'm saying. So, do what your doctor would want.
So again, if you're watching us, the link to join us, we will let you in. If you click on that, we're in Google Meetings. We had a little bitching session earlier about Zoom's business platform and what they would have charged for us to do this through Zoom. So Zoom can suck it, and we'll stick with Google.
Oh, God. Everyone is using Zoom now, man. Everyone. But, I just don't think it's that good. It's got some okay features and, you know what I'm saying, but...
As we talked about in Music Club, Discord's really missing their moment.
Discord is just... They're marketing too heavily to gamers. It's stronger than everyone else. I think Discord could be a lot bigger of a platform.
I do think there's probably a reason they're sticking with that demographic. Huge portion has to do with the amount of time online. I mean, think about how long a Zoom meeting lasts versus how long our Discord has people hanging out in it.
Right,
Although when you're gaming, you can have... I've had a good 3-4 hours that go longer than my meetings go. So
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Is that Discord's if they stick with gamers, I hate using that term, but if they stick with the gaming demographic, then they'll have a lot more data on a more specific demo. So although to be fair, there are Discords for basically every YouTube channel, every YouTube channel now too. So
I get gamers being the primary audience, but if they just rolled back the marketing towards gamers a little bit, because I don't think anyone has ever been oh, Discord, they reference League of Legends when the loading screen, I'm gonna download it now. No one. If you just rolled that back a little bit, I think it would open it up to bigger audiences. having the loading screen be like Wumpus is flip flopping like only drives people away. It doesn't like create like I just think it's a bad marketing move. It's just
So on that note, as much as we can chat about chat platforms in which one can meet up and chat, have video chat and conferences and all that,
show
we
your
are
little
in
PP on camera.
we are in Google Hangouts. Again, feel free to join us. The link is there. Let's drink some rum, shall we? How about we start with shall we go young to old or you want to go old to young?
Young to old.
Yeah,
Young to old it is.
Old.
So we'll start with the Bacardi Yho.
Actually, I'm thinking in terms of likely harshness. We should probably do old to young, since time in the barrel mellows stuff out. So if we don't want to fatigue our tongues too much,
we can reverse our direction. So we're gonna start with the oldest, which is the Mount Gay XO. Hit the bottle so everybody can see it. This is the Barbadian rum.
Okay, I was gonna say that's not how you labeled it for me.
Yes, I labeled it by locale.
Locale.
So the Mount Gay XO is going to be aged anywhere from about 8 to 15 years. That's why it is there extra old.
That is lovely.
A little extra ripe on the banana too, like you'd have in a banana bread.
Yeah. It smells so sweet. I love the way this smells.
On my end, it is saying our broadcast has been interrupted or paused.
Oh, on the broadcast on Facebook?
Yeah, that could be mine.
I think Brian is frozen.
I still it's still broadcasting for me.
Yeah, it's still broadcasting for me too.
But yeah, the Facebook.
No, it says interrupted now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's bizarre because we are still broadcasting.
Just quit it out and then start it up again.
Yeah,
it's probably like a network thing.
That is very strange.
It's probably Facebook. It's
back up for me now.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I just canned the broadcast too. Let me let me bring it back. Start this back up. Yeah, that was weird because we were still broadcasting according to my software.
Yeah, it's just a hiccup. I think it's
okay. Should be back on.
The internet in general is receiving a lot more stress than it's been designed to take thus far. So I think.
Yeah, let me make sure I can get this back going. All right, we are back live.
Not to talk about the big C, but I've actually been online less since the pandemic than more, which I think is odd. I think it's the opposite of most people. I've been on social media a lot less.
Yeah, I was going to say, but your bandwidth usage has probably remained pretty similar because you've been in Discord a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think, in terms of participation in like wide, public internet spaces, that might be less. But I think the average person's bandwidth usage has shot up a lot. It was already pretty high to begin with. I mean, we don't really think about how much it's using to just check Facebook 1,000 times a day on our phones, but.
Yeah, but I don't do that.
No, I know. I'm just saying. It might be easy to overestimate how much of a spike there's been because that is something that everyone was doing before for the most part. So.
Right. Everything good on your end, Brian?
Yeah, I was trying to just get the new current broadcast shared because we are
right.
The first one obviously stopped, but that definitely hurt our viewership. We were starting to climb up, but joys of technology, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
All
Tim Apple.
right. Comments back up. All right, we are back live. Hey, you know, one thing I forget is when you're live, you can just keep hitting like and it just keeps going. That was that was accidental, not trying to inflate our likes. But
I mean, I think it only shows once. It just shows up on stream when you like.
I will say, while we were complaining about technology, that I've been more and more disappointed in Apple
No.
and using my iPad. It just is not. It's not what it once was. The route they've gone as far as removing the home button and how to control things it's not nearly as good as it used to be.
Yeah, they're trying to simplify everything and like take away buttons and stuff. And like I get where they're going with it. Like I get the idea. Um but sometimes more is more, you know?
Yeah, and the fact that in order to power things off now you have to hit power and a volume button,
Yeah.
absolutely asinine. And then you half the time end up taking a screenshot because it's the same combination as screenshot. I don't know what genius said. People are powering off their Apple devices accidentally. Let's make sure we add a second button in order to power it off. Why? That's
Yeah. Just give it its own power button.
I don't understand that. All right, there we go. Finally.
Finally.
Okay. Let's start drinking, shall we?
Oh yeah.
We did some smelling, but now let's do some sipping.
All right.
It's actually got kind of a bourbon kick to it.
And it is aged in bourbon casks.
There we go.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, it inherits a lot of the. It definitely feels very enveloped in that kind of bourbon. Just sort of apple caramel, but then, ooh, yeah, as it sits on the tongue, it fades out into all of these nice, pleasant rum, sugary kind of whole wheat pancakes with syrup. I am just breakfast foods. I know. I'm everything in my head is a breakfast food.
Yeah, it's almost more like
Actually kind of reminds me of the creme brulees you made with the maple.
Yeah, I could see that because you've got that sort of caramelized sugar notes that you get on the creme brulee, and then you've got the sweetness from the maple. And yeah, and as it lingers on the tongue with the finish, you definitely get more of the sugars.
Right. Yeah, I'm getting definitely banana, maybe a little bit of cinnamon. Maybe allspice or nutmeg. Maybe, I think nutmeg. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say nutmeg more than allspice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels a little closer to me as well.
But I do get a little bit of that French toasty. I don't know. I think I just made French. I don't think that's an actual word, French toasty, but it's working for now.
Yeah, I could see French toast for sure.
Because you get that cinnamon, vanilla.
Yeah.
And the color, it's funny if you look in your vials. When I was first pouring them, they are very similar in color, but there is more. The older it is, just a little bit darker.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so much bourbon just at the top of every sip.
And again, if anyone's watching live and you have a Google account, the link's right up there. Please feel free to join us.
Yeah.
Refreshing the stream on my end just to see how it's doing.
I mean, we just started. Don't worry about
it. All right. Shall we? This time I brought up some shortbread cookies so I could actually have something to cleanse my palate between them. I think
smart.
I should have had a little better palate cleansing when we did the last one, because just starting off with that high proof, I think messed with our taste buds for all of everything that we had. Whereas as far as alcohol content on these, they're all pretty similar. I believe, yeah, we have 43% alcohol on the Mount Gay, 43% on the Appleton, and then we drop down to 40% on the Bacardi. So similar alcohol contents in this case. All right. So the next up is going to be the Appleton.
Okay, which is Puerto Rico or Jamaica?
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
So yes, we are going to be traveling to Jamaica. Show off the bottle here. And it's my understanding that Appleton is doing a complete rebranding on all of their bottles. So it's going to change from this current style that you see here. And I kid you not, this is from Appleton Direct, as they've described the new bottle as wanting to have the curves of a Jamaican woman. So it's going to be a little taller and a little more curvy.
Okay.
And they are changing the blend on the 8-year, but all of their others are maintaining the exact same blend. So that's rolling out this year. The 12 is one of my favorites. I do have the 21 here in the lounge, but the 21 is about $120, whereas this 12-year is about $40. A little less.
A little less. A third of the price.
This is a little spicier.
Yeah, I was going to say, I actually get like a grape note.
And, one of the things when listening to the rep from Appleton is describing Jamaican rum as being the funky rum.
The funky rum.
Jamaican rum has more funk than other rums. Which I can see because of that spiciness, some of the fruits.
Yeah, I definitely get a lot more fruit out of this one. And like darker fruits, not like the kind of banana, overripe banana we were getting from the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Still definitely smells like a rum.
Yeah, there's still banana, brown sugar, those. But this smells like you've spiced it up a little bit.
Yeah, I get grape, a little bit of, I'm trying to isolate it. Almost like, not plum, maybe like nectarine. Because there's some brightness in there too, but yeah.
Like that stone fruit kind of.
Yeah, not full on peach.
No.
But not quite as earthy as plum. So lovely though.
All right. Let's take a sip.
Ooh. Whoa.
Ooh. It's really nice.
That's quite complex flavor.
Yeah, enveloping. It feels kind of like I'm stuck on syrup because I realize a lot of rum when it leads into its molasses heritage kind of
Yeah.
gives me that impression, but it just feels like a syrup moving over your tongue and then slowly
And the
blossoming
Jamaican
out into other flavors.
definitely has more of that estery thickness, syrupiness
Yeah.
than the Barbadian rum did.
Yeah. Yeah, this one is interesting because you can almost feel as it hits the different regions of your tongue because you get these strong different responses. Like at first, it was sort of you could taste it was more fruity, but then it got a little bitter to me after a few seconds, but then it kind of spread out a little bit more and it got a little lighter after that. So it really had like a 3-stage transformation in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
No, that feels like it hits the nail on the head there.
Yeah.
It's more complex. It has that development in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would say, the prior had a fair amount of complexity to it. It's just, it felt more subtle. Like this is like 3 really discrete stages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is impressive.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, it's a very well blended rum.
Mm.
It definitely has, like, you start off more, I'd say, with like the banana, and
Mm-hmm.
then you hit more of the spice as it develops, and you kind of start to pick up more of the other fruits that Sam was describing as it develops around your palate. And then when you smell it after drinking it, I get much more like that Jamaican funkiness isn't as prevalent as after you've had sips on it. Like some of that spiciness is kind of taken back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As,
It definitely
still,
sits a little spicy, like in your mouth for a little bit. What were you gonna say, Sam?
just it stays really, really rich.
yeah.
Developing and kind of earthy and dark. And it loses, once you sipped it, it loses a lot of that kind of initial spicy hit. I'm quite fond of this.
Yeah, it's very good. I think the first taste is very like a classical rum flavor that hits your mouth, and then it sort of develops into more in your mouth after that. But like, this definitely feels like a rum drinker's rum. Like,
Yeah, so the Appleton 12 was the very first sipping rum that I had really discovered. And I was searching for a rum to drink as a sipping rum, and I had settled on Appleton based on reviews and descriptions of the rum. And I really enjoyed it, and I don't know if you guys remember, but when we first tried the 21, I had actually liked the 12 more than the 21. And then as the 21 sit open for a little while, it just developed even more flavor notes compared to the 12. But I think Appleton makes a great rum drinker's sipping rum.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that if you're you want a classic rum experience, with its own unique personality, that this is an absolutely fantastic choice.
You could make a mean cocktail with this too, though. I know in general, the idea of adulterating fine spirits with other substances is always controversial. But I can think about how well this would play in a totally not dark and stormy, because Gosling's has that trademarked and they're incredibly litigious. So with ginger beer and lime.
With the ginger beer and
very
lime.
small amounts.
So
A Stark and Dormy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yesterday this was used during the Undertows happy hour in their drink, the Squiffy, which is a play
Okay.
on the banana daiquiri. So it used
Mm.
Ooh.
a. So I took half of the bottle of the Appleton Estate, used the sous vide, infused it with banana. So it became a banana infused Appleton Estate. Needless to say, that entire half bottle is gone after yesterday.
As in
Mixed.
you drank the whole thing?
It wasn't just me, thankfully.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
And
sounds
then
good.
it was blended with the Giffard banana liqueur, and which is Giffard's out of France. They make some excellent liqueurs. And then it was also blended with banana and with a little lime to give it some more acidity, a little dryness to an otherwise sweet drink, because there's also 2-1 Demerara simple syrup in there.
Uh,
And it is just fantastic. And infusing the banana and using the Appleton in a banana-based cocktail, because there is those spicy banana notes, was just perfect.
right. Yeah. After, the next time I come to your house, whenever that is,
when, when we can hopefully
when we
get back
can,
together. And for those of you
when,
that don't know, this is the Escape production team here. Myself, Ethan, Sam. We've obviously been sidelined a bit. We continue to remain responsible in spite of what our governor might be doing with the people here, because he doesn't give a shit what happens to the people. We care
good
about
old
ourselves
Doug.
and our clients.
Hey, everyone's seen those pictures of Casa over on Mill Ave, just absolutely full of people during the middle of the day, just
Awesome.
absolutely full of people. I mean, you haven't seen the. I could send you the pictures.
I,
It
I'm good.
is, it's insane. It's insane. But here's the thing: is Doug Ducey threatened them. He threatened like to take away their liquor license or whatever. He has not done it yet. So we will see whether or not he follows through.
And part of the reason I do these Undertow happy hours on Saturdays is they are extremely responsible, and they are not
Right.
reopening their bars until August, hopefully.
There you go.
So we at Escape Productions are trying to maintain the
August.
same responsibility, and that's why we're doing these separate live streams, and hopefully we'll have some more music productions to come forward here in the upcoming weeks.
Hey, we do have a single. When is the single scheduled for?
The single for our primary artist, Neon Syndicate, which
Yeah.
again features the band members from Escape Productions, comes out on the 21st.
So we got stuff. We got something coming out real soon.
And hopefully we'll be able to do some live stream shows, bring some other local artists in, as
Yeah.
long as we can do so safely. We're just continuing to look at ways to be able to help bring entertainment, music,
Right.
and in this
And
case, alcohol.
and as restrictions are rolled back a little bit, it'll be easier for us to um, do that kind of thing. Because, like, especially at the height of quarantine, obviously we wouldn't want to, get a bunch of band members and stuff all in one place. But as restrictions are rolled back and stuff, like we could maybe have bands play like together. You know what I'm saying? Because it won't be as strict. It'll you know.
That's certainly our goal, is so we can keep bringing more forms of entertainment and in safe ways to everybody.
Right.
And we have one more rum to try tonight, and that is the Bacardi Añejo. Añejo, also a term used more frequently with tequilas,
Mm-hmm.
meaning old. And of course, it's our youngest rum of the night. Now, this is another one, Sam, that is definitely, like most Bacardis, very, very good for mixing. I wouldn't necessarily call this one sipping. I've got the notes on the back, but after we taste them, I'll read the notes off. We'll see how close we are on this one. So Bacardi
All
Yho
right.
is next.
Bacardi.
I smell. It's funny. After the other two, the first thing I smell is alcohol.
Yeah, for me, there's not as much character for this on the nose.
No.
It's sweet. Maybe
Yeah,
like the
sweet. I get
brown
like
sugar.
a tiny bit of orange peel.
Okay.
I
But
get
that might
like
just be that my brain is broken and perceives alcohol burn as citrus now.
I get like blueberry or plum. And for anyone viewing, if you're not joining us live, which you're welcome to do on the link, feel free to comment. We will respond.
Yeah, we'll respond if it's live. If you comment in 12 hours from now,
We might.
I might
Just might take a
respond.
little while.
Yeah. Yeah, I might respond. Wait, what's in 12 hours? It's 8:30 right now, so 8:30 a.m.
If you're starting your day by watching people drink, I have questions for you. I'm not judging. I'm just
People could be watching
you're not
around the world
drinking.
though. So, maybe they're watching in London and it's 8:30
That's
here
true.
and
That's
it's,
true. That's true.
Yeah. You're
But
not drinking.
I
mean, start your day with a drink. Look, we're not the people to judge you. That's all I'm gonna say.
No. I again, I'm more curious. Like I 100% understand. A Bloody Mary with breakfast or brunch. I'm curious about why you start your day watching other people drink.
Like mukbang. Should we do like alcohol sipping mukbang? Like
I do definitely get the rubbing alcohol note that I would get smelling a vodka. But there's fruitiness.
I wouldn't say
Spicy
it's quite that strong for me. It's a very sweet smell. It's just there's not as many notes to it as the two previous.
Yeah.
It's more simple, and that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just more simple.
Yeah, it's honestly, I think the sweetness really does dominate. It just kind of like if you have your nose, a foot or two above a bag of sugar, this is like kind of what you get.
And yeah. This is one where, speaking of that, if you smell it from a little further away versus, in my case, I think you guys are smelling out of the little bottles, whereas I'm smelling out of a Glencairn, which is going to be a little different.
Yeah,
if I smell from a little further away, I do get more of the sweet notes and the brown sugar vanilla notes.
Yeah.
All right, should we take a sip?
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's actually very mild and fruity.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, really mild.
Yeah, it's great for sipping.
Kind of makes me think of those. Obviously, it's more pleasant of an experience in general, but like it makes me think of those little fruit-shaped hard candies you can get. Right. They come in bags. You get they're covered in some kind of lacquer type.
Like Runs, the Willy Wonka ones that look like
Runs,
fruit.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's what I think when you're describing that.
They might be. I don't know if they're Willy Wonka branded, but they're just they're like shaped like bananas and little.
Yeah, those are Runs. Yeah.
Runs. Yeah, Runs. Kind of tastes like a mouthful of Runs.
Runs are good, especially the banana ones.
Yeah, they look like bananas too.
We out here.
Hold
on. The banana Runs are the best ones.
This is.
I agree.
Oh, is this not going to cut? There we go. Runts, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
There's little bananas and.
This tastes like a mouthful of those to me.
Those are good.
No, I don't mean that as a disparaging remark. I just mean,
those be good.
That makes it a very good mixing rum.
Yeah. We should make a Run cocktail.
honestly kind of fun on its own. It's like
Yeah.
super.
Hey,
I
you know
think
what,
doing shots of this would be fun.
Sam? As
Yeah.
as you describe
True.
it, tasting like runs, I agree with you. I don't know that that's what I would have that's what I would have thought of, but now that you say it and taking a sip afterwards in that perspective, it does kind of taste like that artificial fruity,
Yeah.
sugary
Yep, yep,
candy.
We should make a Runts cocktail.
yep. I don't know whether or not to apologize because I actually enjoy this. This would be very good for shots. We're
Oh
going to
yeah.
kind of an upscale party.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and this bottle I think is only like $20.
There you go.
Yeah, it's not bad.
There you go.
Um,
I've taken shots of more expensive than that.
yeah, my place for sure.
I'm just talking about like Grey Goose or something. Costs only $20. And what else are you going to use Grey Goose for?
I'm glad that
Like,
we could
let's be
have
honest.
a
You
very
don't buy
brief.
Grey Goose. So.
Sorry about that. I'm sorry for the cross chatter there. I'm glad we could have a very brief surge in viewership just in time for me to compare
we
Bacardi Yho
we did that definitely.
runs.
So that was Bacardi Añejo that we were discussing. Because you always wonder when people are watching this after the fact how much they're watching. Like an hour-long broadcast, you can't imagine they're sitting down and watching all of it. Although you never know.
Look. So, while the majority of viewers won't watch all the way through, there are usually like a few people who do. You know what I'm saying? There's a small percentage of people who watch all the way through. But yeah, I mean, like if it's a 2 hour broadcast, most people won't watch the full 2 hours. They'll like skip to the middle or something. But
And because it's on Facebook, there's no nudity in this broadcast.
no nudity, unfortunately.
So you can't search for that. I don't know. I don't think you can have
You
full
know,
nudity on
I was
YouTube
just
either.
thinking to myself, we should probably pivot to just being a primarily Pornhub based.
You could. This is a controversial statement. You could probably get away with nudity more on Facebook than on YouTube.
And on Instagram, 100%.
Yeah, well, YouTube's really good at, for the most part, at pretty
Shutting it
aggressive
down.
moderation.
Yeah.
They've been working at it a lot longer.
Yeah.
Is there not supposed to be nudity on Instagram?
No.
I thought
If you're a
Instagram
big
actually had it
account,
okay.
No, there's a lot of like sex workers and stuff who get their Instagram shut down, even for not being nude. Like just for posting like sexual photos, but like that aren't like that totally comply with the terms, they'll still get shut down.
Wow.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Facebook is a little more lax with
And non-sexual nudity
specifically. Yeah, non-sexual nudity
is allowed on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, depends on what you're doing.
Yeah. But like medical
Yeah.
documentary type stuff,
Or like
that's totally
breastfeeding.
fine.
You can show that on YouTube.
Well, I think any artsy content that has nudity can also be on YouTube,
you have
but
to be
it's
careful
within.
with that.
Yeah.
You have to. That you do have to be careful with, because YouTube has a way of letting the robots. Because YouTube is primarily algorithm based, and if the algorithm thinks, "Oh no, this is bad," even if it's not,
Yeah.
if the algorithm can possibly convey it as sexual, then your video will get taken down, and then you have to file an appeal, and then they'll watch it and be like, "Oh no, this is art."
God.
So like. You got to be careful, because
You heard
like
it here
YouTube
first.
will just take your videos down.
We live in a society controlled by puritanical robots.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like it's like weird the things that YouTube will shut down. Like I uploaded a video that just had like, I mean, the title could be confused for gibberish because it was meant to seem like it was glitching out. And YouTube immediately blocked that video. And I'm like, come on. Like, immediately blocked it. I had to appeal, like, I don't know. So it's like it's weird what the algorithm will just block. But then like on the other hand, you have um like some big YouTubers that'll get away with things. You know, you're I'm sure you've heard, the
Oh yeah.
controversial stuff, or your Logan Pauls and whatever.
The
Who will
ad.
get away with
Yeah.
pranks in the hood and stuff like that. That should totally be, or like violence, or like I don't know, videos of like people doing illegal things and stuff like that. That'll totally just be totally cool, or racism, or what else
Yeah.
is on the internet?
So
YouTube, yeah.
we had three different rums. Favorites? Oh, actually, before we go to that, let me pull the Bacardi bottle and we'll go through what the notes they had for us.
Right.
They
Notes
say
of
anything other than runts, I am.
Yeah.
They don't even
Somehow.
have fruit listed, and that's mostly what we all got. Mild vanilla, toasted oak, clove, and honey. The perfect rum to enhance your classic cocktail. And I don't disagree. It's great cocktail rum, but I do not pick up most
Mild
of the flavor
vanilla
notes.
and honey.
Those
I
I
could sort
could
of
see.
see.
I didn't get clove at all, and I really don't get much oak after having the more aged rums that we had today.
Yeah, and I will say that starting with the kind of more robust rums, again, I was thinking would reduce their intensity enough that it would leave us with less fatigue. But I think given that those rums had really, really salient notes of the flavors being described there, it makes sense that we're just not picking up on it if it's there in less, force.
Mm.
And what about favorites? For me, I think the Appleton 12 is my
Yeah,
my
the
winner
Jamaica. Yeah.
from Jamaica. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, I'd say we're unanimous there. I think I'd probably, I don't hold on to a lot of rum for personal use, but I'd pick up a bottle of the Bacardi just to keep around. It's kind of fun. It's a good party rum, I think.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I mean,
absolutely.
I have, and I'm doing this calculation off the top of my head, Sam. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, probably a dozen different rums right now.
Mm.
That feels about right, varying from rums that are just great for cocktail use, and then just like the Appleton 21, which at $120 is really tough to use in a cocktail. Although I'm sure it would be beautiful. The Foursquare Distillery, they're Barbadian. Their 2005 that I have, that's I think around an $80 bottle, might be my favorite sipping rum that I have in the collection right now. It is. I didn't pour that one out because I was trying to keep things on similar lines, price points, and not jump up, because this way it'd be more of kind of a fair evaluation.
Yeah.
But that's a really good one. Now the question is, we haven't had anybody join us. We did have this open as a happy hour. We're not offended. This is the first time we've tried to do that, and as we get our system down, and I'm sure the fact that people were actually out drinking this weekend for the first time might have impacted things.
Hopefully sparingly.
My understanding
Maintaining
is
6 feet of distance and wearing masks.
Yeah, I've seen pictures, and I've got to say there's a reason I'm not going into restaurants and bars right now, because they are not doing that.
I feel bad for the poor workers, man. You didn't sign up for this shit.
No.
Yeah.
No, I am happy to support the establishments that continue to be responsible, and I'm happy to tip them, and so they can support their employees while they can't come in, because I'd much rather they be responsible so we can all start going out safely here in a few months, rather than trying to be premature and cause problems. Right. Nobody likes premature, whether we're talking sex or opening drinking establishments.
Hey, that's a kink for some people.
All right, we won't kink shame here.
Who is it the kink for? The person who's coming prematurely, or the person who makes the other person
Could be
come
both.
prematurely?
Could be both.
That's fair. That's fair.
Seven
If
billion
you
people
have
on this globe.
if you have premature ejaculation fetish, let us know in the comments. Let
Unfortunately,
us know.
I was gonna say how they can do that anonymously. You can message us, and then we'll just note that was the case.
Or let us know in the comments. Let everyone know. Be
That's
loud
right.
and
Be proud.
And yeah,
Be proud.
I don't judge you at all. I want to understand. I want to understand this premature ejaculation fetish. I don't get it. Because, like, wouldn't you want to feel the sex feeling longer?
Right. I mean,
Wouldn't you
unless
want
it's
to
a
Yeah,
feeling
feel
of
but
power,
it's like,
right?
so I feel like that would, okay, so like, oh God, we're going into it. I could see it being like, like an ahegao type thing, right? But for mask coding or for penis havers, right?
Oh, like
Yeah, it's like
it's
total loss
so
of control type
powerful.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it depends on your physiology and like your refractory periods. Like if you have a pretty short refractory period,
Do
then
you,
I would be more okay with it. But if you're like me, like and it's like longer, I don't know. I don't know. Seems unpractical.
So as we continue along
let's
this
see
line, the
if this gets
question is,
pulled down.
It won't.
do you guys want
This
to
won't get pulled down for just discussing refractory periods. Come on, man.
do
That,
do we want to move into the other alcohols that I provided you gentlemen with for our happy hour, or would you like
yeah.
to save them?
I mean, there was the one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's go.
I'm not gonna say no to some Highland Park.
So, Sam, what do you have there, Sam? Tell the
Highland
people.
Park Ice. A very lovely, I believe, yeah, quite limited release from Highland Park Distillery on the. I want to say it's from it's a distillery in the village of Kirkwall, on the northernmost Ireland, not Ireland, wow, northernmost island in Scotland. I can already hear the IRA getting ready to bomb me.
Car bomb you.
Yeah. Have fun. I barely use it now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And
Yeah, that's lovely. I mean, I've had the pleasure of sampling this before. It is a very, very, very characterful, very rich, unbelievably complex whiskey. So, thank you, Brian.
not a problem. There is a broadcast up of the Highland Park on our YouTube channel for Whiskey Sunday that has the Highland Park Ice featured. So please check that one out. That one is up already. Ethan, you are going to be drinking the Widow Jane 12-year bourbon.
Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, so let me grab the bottle here. I even kept that up. So, Widow Jane is out of New York. It is called Widow Jane because it uses pure limestone mineral water from the Widow Jane mine in New
We're
York.
drinking mine water?
You're drinking limestone water from the mine.
No, I'm just kidding.
And of course,
am joking.
this bottle was selected specifically as one of the single barrels for Century Grand, and it was picked up through their online store, greyhenrx.com, as was all of the ones we tried a few weeks ago when we were live streaming. The Widow Jane, much like the Appleton, actually has a female master distiller. There are not a lot of female master distillers in the world, but I think you'll really enjoy the Widow Jane, Ethan. I'll let you take a sip and tell us what you think.
Let's. Okay, so on the nose, I get some light fruit, maybe apple, maybe pear. Oh, that's sweet. Oh, that's really sweet. Ooh. Oh my God, that's good. The flavor really opens up. It is sweet on the first taste, but I don't even know how to describe what it opens up into. It's more like a full course meal. Like it goes from just being some light fruity flavors to like this large bouquet of flavor. It's almost savory.
It is. It's one of those that's good for sipping. It's good in cocktails.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
particular cocktail they used was a banana-based cocktail. It used the same banana liqueur that was in the squiffy I was discussing earlier, but it used the banana and it used some lemon juice, so it was effectively used in a sour, but it was a
Uh,
banana flavored sour.
that I can see that being good. I can see that being really good with this specific liqueur. It's not a liqueur, it's a liquor.
So what I'm going to be drinking as we move on to the open happy hour phase is the Glenmorangie Signet.
Oh,
This was I was describing to you guys earlier in the week. It's also the top of this cork I swear is made with over the cork is metal, so it's extremely heavy. The Signet uses it's a blend. It's not a true blend, it's a single malt, but it's a blend of their all Glenmorangie scotches. It uses in part their 30 and 40. I have no idea what ratio and what else they are blending in. But the thing that really surprised me with this is with all of the complex fruity notes on the nose, it straight up tasted like you were drinking a mocha that was
wow.
aged in oak with a little smokiness. Like right off the nose today, I'm getting like chocolate covered cherry. Little smoke, oak. Definitely has that estery quality, but straight up the first thing you taste is mocha. And then as it goes on to the finish, you start to pick up those fruity notes and the smokiness and everything. But it's a very interesting scotch because it's not like it's flavored or anything like that. But I
Right.
think this is something, Sam in particular, you would really enjoy.
I look forward to trying it when it is next possible.
Yeah.
So for Sam, Sam was sent all of his samples, and we won't say how, but needless to say, they arrived. And Ethan was personally delivered his samples.
No.
But this is a very good whiskey, or scotch, I should say, also a whiskey. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny on the nose. It's very very fruity, and the fruitiness doesn't come off on the palate. You might like this one, Ethan. It's hard to say because there is a hint of smoke, and I know you are pretty averse to anything smoky.
Any liquid that I consume should not be smoky. That's just my personal opinion. I know that that may seem like heresy to some people, but you can
Sam,
go
would you
drink
like to
liquid
weigh in?
smoke if you would like. You can drink liquid smoke if you want. I would never do that.
As
I mean,
especially
liquid
drinking
smoke
the
is
ice
actually
is
really good in cocktails. But
Yeah, but by itself, would you drink it? And if the answer is yes, do it. Show me.
but no, I think again, peated whiskeys are just. I don't know what has to happen to a person either whether it is
Trauma.
I don't know whether peated whiskey drinkers are born or they are made. Presumably, there are some instances of both. But
Well, isn't
yeah,
birth
I
a
mean,
making of sorts? Sorry.
hmm?
I said, isn't birth a
Birth and
making of
making. True.
sorts? Yeah.
True. But yeah, no, I think we're a small but annoyingly vocal minority.
What?
But,
But
but
those
again,
who
peated whiskeys, they do something that you will not get from almost any other drink. And I realize we've discussed this before. I think peated whiskey sits in the same space in terms of general, just pure spirits that cocktails like the Dirty Martini and Bloody Mary occupy. Um, there's not a lot of umami to be found. There's not a lot of savoriness to be found in pure spirits, but you have that with something like peated whiskey, something that feels more
see
rough,
now,
meaty, aggressive.
like obviously you're drinking the Highland Park Ice right now, which is peated, but it is, and I'm not a huge fan of peated, as if you've watched the ice broadcast that we did, but that is such a good scotch. There is so much going on in that glass, as you can
Yeah.
see from Sam's O face right there.
Yeah.
That is, it's just, is it you still getting that pineapple finish, Sam?
This is the first sip I've taken, so I'm still just descending into the peat bog at present, getting all the familiar like heather and just yeah. It's a Scotch could be a journey through time when it's done correctly, and that's something I really enjoy about it.
Through the history of Scotland. You go back to the
No, and one of the facets of peated whiskey that lends itself to its incredible complexity is the chemical and vegetable composition or form or vegetable composition of peat is going to vary immensely based on the region of Scotland it's taken from, because that decayed plant matter is going to be different based on the plants native to that region.
And Sam, I'm not sure that everyone, if people are watching at this point or cruising on to the end, we are no longer talking about rum. We're drinking whiskey at this point. It is Whiskey Sunday after all. Ethan's drinking bourbon. Sam and I are drinking scotch. I'm not sure that everyone knows what peat actually is. If you'd like to explain to the folks, Sam.
Well, it's essentially the compacted, compacted. I'm suddenly at a loss for what's going to feel like a precise description, but it's basically compacted decayed plant matter and
yeah, that's how I would describe it.
It's like oil. Oh, wait, no, oil is dinosaurs. Never mind.
Yeah, but no, it can be pretty oleaginous. It is used as a substitute for firewood, but it.
That's right. Fire bogs, baby.
Yeah.
You go in there and.
But it adds a very distinct smokiness to whiskey. And there are, most traditional in the Ela region of Scotland, there are American peated whiskeys, and Japanese whiskeys are often peated.
And it does, peated whiskey in particular, the reason it takes on so much smoky character is because the way they get the characteristics of the peat is by burning peat and putting some of the mash bill, some of the barley in the mash bill through that smoke.
Yep.
They're not just, the peat is not just in the whiskey directly. So,
just floating around in there, little peat particles.
Yeah. That would probably be a biohazard. But
no.
Yeah, it also probably tastes really weird.
No, I would say, like we were talking about, that savoriness, the umami. I think you get that in the Widow Jane that you're drinking as well, Ethan.
Yes.
Ethan, even though there's sweetness, there is definitely a savoriness to that bourbon.
Yeah, like the sweetness is what hits you at first. Like when you let me have a drink and then I'll describe it. Whew. So the sweetness is definitely what hits you first. And then even as you've swallowed, you can kind of feel it opening up. And the aftertaste is a little more savory, is a little more umami, but not in a smoky way, which is it's kind of odd. It's kind of hard to describe. It's like that's why I kind of said earlier it's like a full meal because it's like I don't know. Imagine like steak fat or something, right? Like that's the kind of savoriness that
Mm-hmm.
you're getting. It's like that rich, you know, melts buttery almost like melting savoriness. It's really good. And it's really interesting, especially because it's doing both so well. Of being sweet, especially right at first, and then going to the savoriness, and being savory without the smoke. Because I like savory, I just don't like smoky.
Yeah, I mean, definitely you get a lot less smokiness in most bourbons or
Yeah,
Tennessee whiskeys or anything like that, unless
Are
you're
there
drinking.
peated bourbons?
There,
I don't know that I've ever heard of a peated
there
bourbon.
are American peated whiskeys. Now the question is whether they remain as bourbon since there are the very specific legal requirements for it. Let me just double check.
51% corn in the mash bill,
Yep.
new oak barrels.
Let's just do a double check. Kings County peated bourbon. There it is. First thing that comes up. Is peated bourbon technically bourbon from the Men's Journal? Because this is what men need to know. I mean, we're asking about it right now, right?
yeah.
um, whether issue as to whether Tennessee whiskey is a requirement for bourbon. It's not because it's filtered through maple charcoal.
No.
So is peat an additive? The official verdict is no. Peat sidesteps this restriction because it isn't really an ingredient or additive. It's a side effect of a process. So it would still contain the necessary corn in the mash bill. I mean, ultimately, this doesn't 100% answer the question. It's it is theoretically saying that it could get away with the name because it would pass the 51% corn, aged exclusively in new charred oak barrels for at least 2 years, and you can't use additives. So theoretically, yes, you could have a peated bourbon.
There you go.
Again, my question was less one of whether or not it was possible and more whether or not
And
there
they
was
exist. I
A,
found one.
demand, and B, anyone who was willing enough to venture, to bet their career on that demand. Then evidently somebody has been. That would
Yeah.
be interesting to try. I don't know what I would expect of that.
The review on this is Whiskey Review, Kings County Peated Bourbon. Just trying to. It says its final score 93 out of 100 from the whiskeywash.com.
Well, there you go.
So that's
pretty
that's
high.
how they reviewed
Interesting to try.
Yeah.
And Total Wine has it $36.99 in stock right now.
Weird.
So there you go.
I want to meet the distiller behind that who decided yep, we're gonna risk a minimum 2-year investment period.
Yeah, I mean, but people want to make something different with so many bourbons on the market.
No, I get that. I just I'm struggling to even imagine what that would taste like, which is, I suppose, part of what's making me curious. But.
All right, take a.
So where the hell do you get peat in the United States? But
I believe they have it flown in, from what I understand of when they're doing it with other whiskeys, because there are American peated whiskeys out there that are not reflecting themselves as bourbons, and I know they're importing it. Mm. All right. Well, it seems like we've had a pretty solid. Mm. You know what's funny is I'm not a huge fan of coffee, but you turn a scotch and make it taste like a mocha. It's pretty delicious.
That's pretty good.
So we've had a pretty good whiskey Sunday today. Again, we talked about Escape Productions, uh, our upcoming release that Escape Production has from the band Neon Syndicate, releasing
Yeah.
on the
Follow us on
21st.
Facebook. Follow us, subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit the bell on YouTube. What else? What are the other things? Follow us on Instagram.
Our goal, we're moving up. We're closing in faster and faster on 700 followers on Instagram for Neon Syndicate. You can follow
True.
Escape Productions on Instagram as well. We'll be able to keep you updated as to anything we have going on. And
Which, as soon as lockdown is over, is going to be a lot. So just look out for that.
and Escape Productions is always, right now we haven't been doing any recording in our studio, but
Mm-hmm.
as things become more safe, we will be doing that, and hopefully we will be broadcasting Whiskey Sunday with all of us in one place again soon. But again, we're not rushing anything. We want to keep things safe for our clients and for ourselves. And we hope you'll tune in again. We should have another broadcast for you here in a couple weeks, and hopefully we'll get some folks to join us for the happy hour.
Absolutely,
And
yeah. We'll have to scout some people ahead of time to make
put some plants in the
surprise
audience.
visits. Yeah, surprise visits.
So thank
That's
you
what we need.
for anyone watching at the end, anyone that stuck through the premature ejaculation conversation.
That's
And
why they're here. Don't say stuff through.
and again, you can contact us. You can email us at escapeproductionsaz@gmail.com. You can check us out our website at escapeproductionsllc.com, Escape
That's
Productions
right.
AZ. Either
That's
of
right.
those. Check out everything that we have going on. And of course, we are also always looking for talents to put on more shows on YouTube.
That's true too.
It's not just Whiskey Sunday.
That's true. Do you have a talent? Are you special? Hit me up. Hit my DMs. We'll talk.
Thank you again to anyone watching, and we will see you all next week. I'm gonna cut the live broadcast, and then
Au
it'll just
revoir.
be the three of us.